Hi there, this is Paul Beckman, Palu Rainbow Song again. I just read an article about Ken Rouleau. Not only is this, I think, supposed to be a benefit for Ken Rouleau, but it's also Earth Day. And recently I saw a documentary about Earth Day, and although I only taped a portion of it here and there, I'm going to see what there is of it that I salvaged, and see a little history on Earth Day, being as this, I believe, is Earth Day. The date happens to be April 22nd, 2012, today. Let's see when it began, and I'll be singing a few songs along with it as well.
Clear that there's problems.
Americans want to believe in a future that is expansive, that's better than the past. When I was a kid, the year 2000 was 40 years in the future, and the sort of thing that the futurists were all laying out was almost unimaginable. That never seemed to me to be a particularly interesting way to live. I always thought, and kind of held a mental model, that somehow we would all find a way to live in something more like a New England village. We would know our neighbors. We would have genuine say in decisions that were made that would impact our lives. This always seemed to me a far superior future.
Back long ago, Earth Day started, and we're seeing the history about it. Later today, I'm gonna go and see and check out a Peace Day, Earth Day gathering.
For the Interstate Highway Program, which I see now as a great mistake. I was a freshman congressman. You went along for the ride? The vision we had was superabundance. There was no discussion of how much oil we had. There was just an assumption that it would always be there, and they would always be finding oil, and oil would be cheap. And so the automobile culture that we adopted began to gain strength. Let the trains and public transportation go. That's what we did in most parts of the country. This was the future, the individual, the automobile.
California has been the heart of much of the environmental leadership in America. Every day we see something that we grew up with our youth, that we treasured, that is lost. Southern California was a beautiful place. Small towns, orange groves, mustard fields, and then the metropolis of Los Angeles. We had the finest transportation system in the world. Electric trains, you could go anywhere. San Bernardino to Santa Monica. My dad commuted to work from South Pasadena every day of his life. We'd had steady development since the end of World War II in 1945, and by 1950, when I was up at Stanford, they had to close down high school baseball games because the air had grown so smoggy as a result of the automobiles and the vanishing of the great electric trains. What happened to Los Angeles in my lifetime was that it became one huge suburb.
Ecology means the study of organisms in combination with their environments. We take groups of organisms, put them in an environment, and try and understand what's happening. My original interest in human population developed when I was an undergraduate at Penn in the 50s. As a biologist, the thing that I saw first was when I was in high school, they were doing so much building of subdivisions for more and more people in New Jersey and spraying so much DDT around that the butterflies I was interested in studying were disappearing. That tied very directly to population, as do almost all of our other environmental problems.
I was born into a paper-making family, so my youth was surrounded by the felling of trees and by paper mills that produced vast quantities of uncontrolled sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. I think I probably have a bit of diminished lung capacity that grew out of breathing all of that acid for all of those years. There's probably some Freudian rebellion against my father that was part of it.